Welcome into Game Night Live Rewind. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart, as always. Brought to you by Heidemann & Associates and Western Governors University.
Yeah, that's right. And just a reminder, Western Governors University, look, it's at your own pace. You can also kind of test out a curriculum there. So it's a great way to take that next step in your life. I've had a lot of colleagues, Dusty, that haven't been able to dedicate to full-time schooling, able to do that from home, online. It's a great option, and make 2022 the year of you. You can earn up to $2,500 in scholarships. To learn more, visit wgu.edu.
Yeah, they give out a number of those $2,500 scholarships as well. So go there, and we'd love to help you out. You'll see the banner ads right probably around here on our video. Go hit those, and it'll take you right to the landing spot. And then obviously, Heidemann & Associates, we talk about all the time. Free consultation, but not only that, flat rate lawyer fees as well. And if you want a personal introduction, I've had a couple people do this. Reach out and say, hey, will you give us a personal introduction? Be happy to get you tied in with Justin, and he'll give you that free consultation and take care of you. Again, go to utah.law, find the law office nearest you, or if that doesn't work, do a virtual call as well. Yeah. All right. This is going to be an interesting show. We have a lot of places to go, a lot of things to do. Let's start right at the beginning like we always do. Let's go the best of 6A.
Yeah, look, my best of 6A in true Dane fashion. Let's just talk Region 1, shall we? This region, Dusty, is unreal. We knew it was going to be good.
It is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Yeah, Davis handed their first loss of the year. Look, a tough game against Fremont. We knew that Fremont team was going to be tough. It took some time for them to get comfortable. Healthy, big factor in what we've seen from Fremont in recent weeks. They hand Davis the first loss in 28 games. 50-48. It was a nice game winner from Hadley. The defense from Fremont played great, held Davis well below their average. But then you also have kind of the shocker because you've got Syracuse that's upending team. They beat Fremont prior to that game, 55-50 in overtime. Brock Williams had 17 points and 3 threes in that one. You also have Syracuse that handed Farmington a loss late last week as they had a 22-10 third quarter, overcame Colin Chandler and crew in a double-digit win. Meanwhile, you have Clearfield painting up wins left and right, get a nice win over Weber. And Layton got their first win in region play and gave Davis a close game tonight. It's just, Region 1 is so crazy. And while we're talking about that, how about Fremont getting a big win against Farmington?
Yes,
Bridger Flinders hitting the game winner on a night where they retired his dad's jersey. Special moment for the Flinders family. And look, he plays great basketball. But, man, there's just any given night, man, it is a crazy region in Region 1. Every team had their moment in this last week and a half.
I mean, we've been saying this for years. It is the region of champions in basketball.
Years.
In basketball.
Yeah, it is.
That's for you, Kelby. That's for you. All right, so that's a great one. I mean, Region 1 has just been, absolutely awesome. And then the stretch down, because even Davis, if you hadn't been following and you've been following our coverage, look, that game was coming. And it's just all those teams in that region, they all have a shot every single night. All right, now let's go my best of 6A. Well, first of all, the Diet Dr. Pepper Diet Coke battle is alive.
It's coming.
And well. And Friday night, looking at the first installment, is Kearns and Cypress for those who are not initiated. Both those teams 6-0 in region play, playing extremely good basketball within region. We did that video with Cypress earlier in the year after beating RSL Academy. And, Coach Smith had told us, hey, we're going to start figuring it out. He put the beginning of the season on him, and now his senior leaders are going, and this young team that's been together for a long time, not young anymore, very well experienced. Cypress on the roll, and Kearns, Coach Cosby, you know how I feel about you. We're all there. So Kearns playing well. And then Region 3, Bingham and Copper Hills.
Yeah.
You want a more fun region rivalries? This was a former state championship game. If Bingham wins the state championship, it's always against a region opponent, and coming up February 1st.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. The first one.
By the way, we're going to have a special guest commentator for that.
Hey, you want to break the news on that one?
Yeah, let's do it, huh? Look, we're going to have a Region 2 coach joining us. Coach Trey Smith of Cypress going to come on the stream. Last year in the state tournament, we had a lot of coaches come on, had some reach out and said, hey, I'd love to do that. So we're trying to mix that in a little bit. Coach Trey Smith of Cypress is going to join us for that Bingham and Copper Hills.
You know how I know Trey's going to do really well?
Huh?
He's a member of Raider Nation.
Yeah.
He knows. He'll take care of business. No, that's going to be awesome having Trey there. Yeah. Tune in on that one on Tuesday. And then how about PG stays at the top? PG gets to win over Skyridge. And, man, Coach McAllister on a team that Dylan Jones transfers, you lose Ross, you lose so much talent. And here comes McCaden Adams. Yeah. I had someone reach out and said, hey, where would you rank McCaden Adams? And I say, this is an interesting year. Because McCaden, week after week and game after game, he is the marked man that everyone's going to go after. He's the red dot guy. I actually heard that phrase this week. I really like that. He's the red dot guy. And every week every game he's coming through.
Here's the thing. When you look at the top two teams, even in the RPI, and I think in most people's minds, Davis and Bingham, we've talked about those two teams. Yeah, you've got a Rex Sunderland, right? Yeah, you've got a Cam Dupay, but it is a collective unit.
Leatherwood, yeah.
And you look at a team like Pleasant Grove, and there's other pieces around it, but what McCaden Adams does on a night-to-night basis, I mean, this young man just one of the best shooters that we've seen this year. He's been fantastic and has really taken PG to, the top of that region. I did not see that coming preseason. He's going to be on the list for a lot of awards at the end of the year.
He absolutely is. And so it's just going to be a lot of fun. They got big games coming up this week as well. They got a nice win against Corner Canyon tonight, 5-point win. Corner Canyon. Look at Region 4 on any given night. Just like Region 1, you don't know who's going to come out in those Region 4 games, who's going to win. And right now, it's looking like PG. We've seen this before. That second half of the season comes, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, even Westlake tonight in a game against Lone Peak got it going in the second half. It's like that's the Westlake team they were in non-region play. Got off to a tough region start. That's the team they were in non-region play. You look at AF, a team that's starting to find their rhythm a little bit. They've had some nice wins as of late. Skyridge been exceeding expectations. So there's just so many teams in that Region 4. It's a deep region.
It's 6A. Oh, my gosh, it's going to be fun. All right, well, okay, well, from 6A, let's go to your best of 5A.
All right, my best of 5A. Hey, we had the first round of a potential region championship in play. Look, Payson's been running around like they own the place in Region 7, and Stansbury came to say, nay. This is our region, just like it was in football. They got a nice 68-61 win over Payson. Had a 17-8 or 17-9 fourth quarter. Logan Richens had a big game, senior 20 points. Landon Giles 19 points, including 3 threes. Cornell had 20 for the Payson Lions, but in the end, not enough as Stansbury taking a hold of the top of Region 7, handing Payson their first region loss. And the Stallions, we saw them early in the year. Looked good for a quarter and a half against Grainsville, kind of lost momentum, lost steam in that game, but you knew this team had a lot of capability, and they're playing that way right now in region play.
And they certainly are. And it's always so interesting where that's going to go. And Payson, I love watching that team. We had them that night. That was so much fun. Yeah. My best of 5A, you know what makes a great game? First of all, great finishes. Great finishes, great personal performances, and a little bit of controversy. You stir all that up, shake up the bottle, and you know what happens? You start getting anniversaries.
Oh.
I'm a tuck rule guy, right?
Yeah.
Sea of Hands game, Ghost to the Post, the Holy Roller. I'm a Raider fan. Well, how about this one? How about the tip in or not? Well, it was. Like, count the bucket. And now, of course, I'm talking about Timpview and Orem. And not only that, here's some add to the controversy. A team's undefeated season goes down. And we've seen different videos. We've seen still shots. We've seen all these different things. We've talked to people who were there. It's all up to you. You know what I learned this week? We talk about, with high school sports, no video review.
Huh.
Not in Texas.
Really?
Video review. At least in the state championships.
Please
at least in the state championships because they play by the collegiate rules. How about that?
All right. Well, you know what that means. No board representation for the state of Texas.
And I am not clamoring for it, by the way. Of all the things I want.
I do not want video.
Shot clock, give me the restricted area. There's a certain call tonight I want some officials to ask. I want to talk because they could get off the hook. So we just had the restricted area. Either way, back to the point.
Yeah.
Back to the point. If you don't know how this game ended, Orem Timpview come down in the last seconds. Ball comes off the rim, and then is Birmingham tipping it up all over the rim, bouncing every which way. My tweet, I was really proud of it. How many bounces does it take for a Timpview shot to bounce off the rim and hit the bottom, the center of an Orem hoop? A lot. As it went down, and Orem's perfect season comes to an end at the hands of Timpview. And again, not without some controversy. Yeah. But an absolute big win for Izzy Engel in his inaugural year at Timpview.
You know, it was the same night Davis lost. It was Black Tuesday.
Black Tuesday.
In high school basketball. A pair of undefeateds and boys, last two went down.
Unreal. But a great night. By the way, things keep going. This Orem team's extremely good, but Izzy Engel starting to figure it out there at Timpview. All right, your best of 4A.
Yeah, which you don't want. All right, best of 4A. You don't want Timpview figuring it out. Yeah. We should clarify.
If you watched our coverage,
Timpview figuring this thing out.
Timpview, you don't want me picking you in the state tournament. That's what you don't want.
Nobody does.
Timpview
back to the action. All right, my best of 4A. Let's talk about a team that got off to such a good start. And now kind of scratching the head a little bit. What has happened to Skyview, Dusty? I mean, they played Mountain Crest this last week. Mountain Crest, look, a game winner, buzzer beater. They get the win. They had a 35-19 run between the second and third quarter. The Mustangs did. It's been a tough year for Mountain Crest. They go and beat the team that was atop their region, Preston Lofthouse. Always feels good to talk about Lofthouse,
yes.
Doesn't it? 20 points, 4 made threes. Nethercott had 15 as they get the big upset. And then to follow that up, Skyview goes and loses to Logan. Little shaky week for the Bobcats. Look, Deal, others, they're going to get that figured out. But Mountain Crest getting the big win over Skyview. Now all of a sudden that region 11 might be a little bit different.
Well, it comes really, really different and always super interesting. Well, how about what gets a little more interesting? You know who's the reigning champion in 4A?
Yes. Because I picked them.
Well, you know what they did? They said, okay, we might not win the state championship, which they could, but you're not going undefeated. As how about Cedar knocking off Snow Canyon? What does it do? No undefeated teams left in the state of Utah. No one's popping corks or any of that stuff. Well, maybe Lone Peak will, one of the Lone Peak teams. But it was a big night. Santana, man, this guy's just rocking out, isn't he? 25 points on the evening, only 2 threes. Munson had 17, leading the way as Cedar knocks off Snow Canyon. No undefeated teams left in the state of Utah.
You know the crazy thing about that game? Snow Canyon had 4 scorers. Just 4 guys in the book. And, you know, we talk a lot about Lyman. We talk about, we've talked about Meekum. Lyman Simmons, thank you. Hammer. This team has had a lot more depth of scoring that night against Cedar. They didn't. The defense did a great job for the Reds.
Yeah. Well, I can't have him pointing this out. Snow Canyon can be a sneaky team in 4A. Not going to be sneaky anymore because last time they won a championship, Hammer was a big part of it. Nick Hammer.
Okay.
He was a good one. You know, an Aggie as well.
Yeah. One of us did pick them to win that region.
One of us did. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. All right, your best of the rest.
All right. Hey, look, how about a team that had a really great turnaround? Been a really tough start, but they've won 3 of their last 4. The Judge Memorial Bulldogs. Coach Kolovrat took this team deep in a playoff run last year, graduated a lot of talent. This year's having to play a lot of youngsters, and they're, kind of having to learn on the job. And, we talked about winning 3 of 4. Well, they sealed it off with a 42-32 win over Summit Academy. It's one of the best defenses in the state, the Bears, by the way. Coach Condi doing a great job. But
yes.
Coach Kolovrat, I mean, look, he got the win. Again, won 3 of 4. They were tied with Juan Diego atop that region until games on Friday. They lost to Juan Diego, so now just a game back. But how about a youngster that we have not talked about yet, but you want an up-and-comer, Dusty?
Want him.
How about Aniwan Quang from Judge Memorial? Young man had 24 and 9 in the win for the Dogs over Summit Academy. Just a sophomore. This young man is a heck of a player. Good one to keep an eye on. Saucedo had 13 for the Bulldogs in the win. Coach Kolovrat and Judge Memorial, tides are changing, guys. They've been great in region play.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Coach Kolovrat. And, of course, Curtis Condi got the win that week. How about the week? Tough going here for Juan Diego.
Yeah.
But I think they'll figure it out. I picked them to win a state championship, for heaven's sake. So
it was their lone loss in the first round of region play for Juan Diego.
Yeah.
So, but it was a great win for Summit Academy.
It is.
That region.
How
Good
about
teams,
it?
Huh?
Curtis Condi can't by tweet a minute.
Yeah.
If schools across the street don't want you, travel 2 hours north and go make a difference. Good on you, Curtis.
Yeah.
Speaking of the school across the street, all blue today. Might not be royal, but it runs deep. My Carbon Dinos.
Hey!
49-48. Griffith, 17 with 3 threes. Fawcett, 13 with 3 threes. And Anderson, 7 points and 2 triples. As my Dinos take care of Emory. Man.
It was a good week for Dusty.
After a couple really bad ones. This is really, really good. Congratulations to the Carbon Dinos. 4-1 in region play. Looking really, really good.
Yeah.
And playing great ball. But the biggest thing, you go knock off Emory. All is right in the world. And I can do it. Jeff Cisneros is not coaching basketball there this year. And so it feels even better to bring it up. But good on you, Dinos, getting the job done. Want one more? Let's give you one more. How about this? Got to avenge some losses. San Juan lost to Enterprise early in the year. Well, not again. Enterprise could not upset San Juan because it wouldn't have been an upset if they got him twice. San Juan took care of business righted things against Enterprise. The Wolves will not bite the feet of the Broncos again, at least in the regular season. So, all right, let's go to the middle. Let's go to the topic of our show, brought to you by Western Governors University.
Yeah, so, just a reminder, you can learn at home on your time, online, and it's quite affordable. To learn more, visit wgu.edu.
That's right. We give away a bunch of $2,500 scholarships as well. All right, so what we wanted to do is state tournaments right around the corner. Yep. It always feels like it gets here way faster than anything is going to. And what we want to do is we have the teams we always talked about. We want to find some other ways to talk about the teams that we don't.
Yeah.
So we go outside here. We're going to go 6A, 5A, some teams outside the top 10 that we think could make a run at the state championship.
Yeah, so outside the top 10 in the RPI as of Friday night.
As of Friday night, the, what is it, the 28th.
Yeah, this will be dated after games next week. All right, hey, I'm going to start with one, Dusty, that, look, I think you got to be careful of this team. We've talked about their week. It's the Syracuse Titans. They got a lot of length. They actually have the ability. They shoot the ball really well. This is a team, a culture that is changing for Syracuse. You look at what that program's been the last couple of years. Just hasn't quite felt like it's gelled. It's gelling. You look at some of the wins that they've had, getting a nice win over Fremont, getting a big win over Farmington. Like all of a sudden, that confidence starts to build. And if you get the right matchup, that length, you can look at it last year. They got the big postseason win against Cyprus, a game that I certainly didn't see that upset coming. The length, the shooting ability they have, the athleticism, this is a team that's much better than their record, and we've seen glimpses of that. It's a team that I would not want to play in a state tournament. I think Syracuse has the pieces to put together a run.
Yeah. Okay, 2 easy pickings on this one. So I'll take 2, because these are...
Okay.
You look at this, you're like, well, obviously. So let me give you a couple of stock tips.
I can't wait.
You ready for this? I mean, I'm going deep. Motley Fool isn't beating this. How about Fremont, number 11?
You're such a cheater.
By the way, Corey Mullaney, he's got to wear it right. The blue shirt, state championship ring, and the right blazer. I mean, don't wear it out, Corey, because then it's not as special. But gonna feel it. Gonna feel really, really good. I knew he would be happy about that one. And then the really deep one. How about Farmington? They got this kid.
Best player in the state,
I don't know if you've heard about Colin Chandler. He's pretty... This kid, I mean, he's an up-and-comer himself. Yeah. Okay, those are 2 obvious ones.
You know what I was going to do just for Colin tonight? I was going to have a bag of Wendy's. Look, man, we'll all be on an informal protest, huh?
Do you not know about a JBC?
Yeah. Look, I'll go with what would be a first-round matchup if the games were today. Weber.
Yeah,
How about Weber-Farmington would be a fun matchup. This Weber team, I know they lost to Clearfield. That Clearfield team, I can't figure them out, right?
That's awesome.
It's great. It's great to see them winning games that you don't expect them to. I think they're 3-4 in region. That's a game back of second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hats off to you, Clearfield. This Weber team, though, has a lot of scoring, right? You look at, they've got Skank, DeVries, Dowdy, a lot of guys that can contribute on that roster. And when it's all fallen for them, you don't want to play Weber. They got some length to them as well. That Weber team can be probably my second one to keep an eye on as we just live in Region 1 and talk about Region 1 teams to keep an eye on.
How about a non-Region 1 team? Just real quick.
Let me guess. Number 12, AF?
How did he know? It's like he reads... No, I was just joking. Mountain Ridge.
Yeah.
Mountain Ridge. I got to see them tonight. Sherwood. I thought I was really impressed with him. Talk about Van Dyke. Little Brent Van Dyke. That kid's got a sneaky good handle. Fitton can light up at any point, but then there's this kid Muller. He's kind of like, I'm not going to put on quite yet. Jaden Farrell is one of my favorite players in the state. He's kind of that same thing. Kid just hustles, finds his spots, gets things done. That game against Copper Hills tonight was an absolute barn burner. I love the heart and the fight. And, of course, when you put Coach Scott Briggs on the sideline, that team's going to gut it out. And then Mason is at it as well. Give him a little shout-out. I'm sure he drew up the inbounds play on the baseline. It was a thing of beauty. But that team, that is a scary team to play in the state tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think I picked them to finish near the top of that region. I don't know if that will happen, but did I pick them to win it?
You picked them to win it.
Did I? Mm-hmm. Okay, because I know I picked Bingham State. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah. That is a really good team. They got a lot of good options.
So now let's go look at 5A. Outside the top 9.
Yeah, good call. This one's actually a lot easier because there's a lot of teams that got off to tough starts.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to get back up in the top 10, but I don't want to play them.
I wouldn't want to play number 10. That's Murray. Chudy
guy,
Onosike,
man,
man.
I'll tell you what.
I just want to be able to talk about Chudy Onosike. I had to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
Kid is unreal. He's so much fun. Yeah. I mean, this is Andre Moulabea part deux. Just so much fun to watch. And not enough people got on him early enough. And maybe we didn't either. Someone's going to find this kid. And I'm not saying he's Division I. He's going to play at Kansas or something like that. Dixie finds him. Snow College finds him just for a little bit, develop him.
Yeah.
Chudy Onosike is going to be a steal of someone. Hey, Coach Randy Ray Weber, be a pretty decent fit.
Let's talk about, we can talk about the last couple games for Chudy. Look, in 3 games, in a 3-game span, he scored 45, 38, and 35. By the way, he joined the 1,000-point club. 1,000 career points at Murray High School. Chudy, congratulations. He's been an absolute tear. And, we saw him really pop in the top 50 over the course of the summer. Then you mix that in with Jackson Workman, Bowen Davies, this Murray team. They got a lot of pieces. And, look, Chudy, his versatility, he can shoot it from long range. He can get to the rim. He is a difference maker. And, man, been awesome. Been awesome to see his career really elevate. And that's a good one, even though they're inside the top 10.
1,000-point club, major scorer.
Yeah.
So put him on that one. All right. Give me another one, and I'll find the better one.
All right. Hey, look, I'll take a cheapo here. How about Timpview at number 17? I mean, we talked about that earlier, right? Mm-hmm. James Russ starting to find his rhythm a little bit, Oldroyd as well. And you talk about Izzy Engel, first year of that program. You get a nice win over Orem in a rivalry game. Starting to come together, Pepper, right? And you see that team getting more confidence. It goes on a nice win over Timpanogos. This is a team that I think it's starting to all kind of gel. It's all coming together. That Timpanogos team, I think, is going to be scary, and I think we're starting to see what we expected from them before the year, even though it's in region play. Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting to have it. And then, by the way, if Highland matches up with Timpview, then I'm definitely look out for Highland to make a push.
They got some players.
They do.
You got to watch out.
Well, that 4-point game tonight. I mean, all those things, so they'll be really, really good. All right, let's go with surprise teams who's a team in 4A? We didn't hit them early, right?
I can't believe we left 5A. Can I hit a couple more before we move on?
Okay.
How about Skyline, I think, is a team that they've got some scorers as well. You got to keep an eye on. And Lehigh. Look, I know they lost to Alta.
Fruit. Yeah.
They lost to Alta again this last week. We continue to talk about Cooper Lewis. And you look at Hawkins. You look at that roster.
Get your shots in now.
That is a team with Quincy Lewis on the bench in the playoffs I want no part of.
Yeah. Get your shots in now because their comeuppance are coming.
They're coming.
They're coming. All right, you're right. I probably went a little too quick on that one, a little quick to the draw.
That's okay.
All right, 4A, because remember in 4A, I think we both took Ridgeline. So remember, only 2 regions into this one. So I'll go first on this one. How about Desert Hills? 39-38 game.
Yeah.
In the year of 2022. And then I don't know how it went there because you had one earlier this year, just a couple weeks ago, right? AF Lone Peak was kind of the same thing. It's just been a bad night or shooting-wise. 39-38 final score. Desert Hills lost to Dixie. Man, but I look out for Desert Hills. If you can do that to Dixie, get them sub 40, this is a team I would not want any part of in a state tournament.
Let's go number 13, Mountain Crest.
Oh, okay.
Look, you take down Skyview. That's a top 3 team in the RPI. You beat them. I know that it requires a buzzer beater to do it, but you take care of business. It's the last ranked team in the RPI. When you take down the first place team in your region, a top 3 team, I think you see there is potential there, and it just reaffirms on any given night, especially in basketball, got to bring your A game. I think they showed the capability. I don't know that they do it again a second time, but showed the capability. And because there's so few teams, I'm going to go in the bottom half of the RPI, and with that, I'll roll with Cedar. It was a team that was not healthy early on. Even Santana wasn't healthy. Munson was coming back from some stuff. And you're starting to see that team come together. They're ranked 8th out of a 13-team classification. I think that Cedar team, and even talking with Coach Esplin, he knew, right? Give us time in January, February, we're going to be playing our best ball, and that's been the case.
Yeah. How about 3A? 3A, I had Grantsville. This is a 23 or 21 team classification. I know you would think I'm going to go Carbon here, and I really, really want to, and I probably should. But it's a state tournament, and their regions are kind of interesting. You don't want anything to do with Sun Academy. You don't want to mess with Sun Academy. Sun Academy is that team in that 3A classification. They could be the San Juan from a year ago. They felt like they were playing really well. They're peaking, get a state tournament, and they go make a run. Coach Curtis Condi, maybe too close to the woods here or the fire, but I feel it. I feel it, Curtis. There's going to be a moment where his suit jacket gets ripped off and it's thrown over and he's rolling up the sleeves. Like, you see it.
They're at 10. Rules for this apparently have been thrown out the window. Who cares?
Hey, when there's only 23 teams, I got to cut us 23 of the whole thing.
Give me something to work with here, man.
I mentioned carbon.
Look, I'm going to go with Judge Memorial. You talk about a team that's coming around, a lot of youth there. We talked about in the first round of region play, won 3 of 4. They lost to Juan Diego, but I think that is a youthful team. Again, they weren't healthy a lot in the non-region play. I'll go with Judge. And a coach that has experience in 5A and building a program there, I'll go with Judge Memorial.
Hey, you know what I heard? What school's a party? How about Providence Hall? We go the Patriots.
Yeah.
We got someone messages. You guys got to come to Providence Hall. It's a party.
I would love to, actually.
We'll try to work it out.
I've been to a game there. We just didn't stream it.
Yeah. Figure that one out. We can try to figure that one out. We really can. All right, so 3A, those are a couple good ones. 2A, I mean...
Well, American Prep is number 10, so that's Dusty's pick.
The rules are all... it is just an interesting one because you get to these classifications, it's always a little tougher. The finals, and North Summit becomes that team. North Summit, you wouldn't want a piece of it.
That was going to be my pick. Trey Pace, that kid, it feels like he goes for 28 on a nightly basis, rebounds well. He is, when you get to lower classification, you have a guy who scores at that pace. Yeah. See what I did there? That's a good pick. That's where I was going to go as well.
All right, now real quickly looking at 1A. Do I have a bargain for you? Penguich. Want no part of Penguich in the 1A bracket.
Yeah.
By the way,
Folks,
they're number 1.
It's insight like that keeps bringing you back here. I'll tell you, I don't want Paiute.
This is why we're growing. All right, I got a real one. I know. Okay, first of all, 1A, it's those lower classifications tend to be they're top heavy. And I wish this was like 2000 and I could go Slade Bigelow and those. By the way, they would have picked to win. Green River was picked to win 1A. But Tabiona, they're number 6, 9-6 on the year. But when you look at 1A, it gets a little harder to find those teams. You think you just make that run. Tabiona is one of those teams I wouldn't want any part of.
All right, let me go somewhere with this because I'll take the Dusty bait. Let's see who's in the top 10.
It's a good one.
I'm just teasing.
That's a good one.
Hey, look. Let's go with, how about Wendover, Dusty? Orlando
I was
Alvarez.
that. We talked with Coach.
Right, one of the top scorers in the 1A classification. This is a group that in the last couple of years you've seen good scoring, good defense, steals, get out in transition. I think that style translates very well. Consistency is important with that. But I think Wendover might be one of those teams just because they do have a guy that hits the bottom of the net a lot. Yeah. And that's through the cylinder, not in front of the cylinder. So I'll go with Wendover.
I'm so glad you clarified.
Yeah.
By the way, before the playoffs, I would have told you the Bengals are a team you really want to mess with in the NFL, even though they got a home playoff game.
Yeah.
That's the insight I bring in. That's where we go.
I had this feeling the Chiefs would be tough. I don't know why.
I was so surprised.
Yeah.
But again, if there's schools that we're missing, and I know we've missed a lot. Lower classification, love to hear from you as well. Yeah. Let us know. Those teams you would not want to play in the state tournament because it'd be a lot of fun. But this next week, look, we got games galore. We have major games. By the way, Taya Sidbury could be breaking the girls' state record.
Well, and it's the most points. It's more than has been scored in boys. So it would be
all-time leading scorer.
All time.
Past Croman Hook. Yeah. So that could be happening Tuesday or Thursday. We're going to talk about it. Maybe we'll interview Taya as well. But got a big week coming up.
Yeah. Can I give you a couple other highlights that we need to talk about? Yeah. Didn't really fit in our previous segments. How about Box Elder? We've not talked a lot about Box Elder basketball this year, but they had a notable win over Northridge, a double overtime win, and absolutely a gut-wrenching loss for Northridge. But they go to the line, end of the first overtime, down by 2, miss the free throw. McKee gets the rebound, a very awkward putback, kind of fading away. It goes to a second overtime, and they beat Northridge. McKee, I think he had 25 points in that one, had a big night. And that Box Elder team looks very well positioned in Region 5. Those matchups against Bonneville are going to be really good. Wanted to call that out. We didn't want to lose track of that one. Given how big it was. Yeah,
that was a good one. That was, by the way, thanks to Patrick Carr making sure we saw that too. So, absolutely great. And again, if there's things we're missing, please hit us up. We want to do the best we absolutely can. But for Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us and for watching Game Night Live Rewind on KSLSports.com, brought to you by Heidemann Associates and Western Governors University.